right, so with Playoff Pandemonium, I went into my creative brain that sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. This time was working.
No, it always works.
We came up with a couple of different, goodness gracious. We came up with a couple of different categories, 6 to be exact, of different parts of the playoffs that we wanted to talk about. I'll do it again. To start off with, and let's walk through those categories real fast.
Yeah.
The first of which, biggest lock.
Love that.
That is going to be, if you had to put it down right now on who you thought was guaranteed to win a state championship.
Yes.
Who would it be? The next one is the underdog team that's got that dog in them. Okay? Dog and a dog.
Not Matt Stepp edition.
Not Matt Stepp.
Nah, this is pickle edition.
WTF.
Yeah,
is better. This is the WTF underdog team that's got that dog in them. So who do you think could make a run? Now, we're not saying that they're necessarily going to make it to the state championship, but there's always one Cinderella team that feels like they can at least make it to a state, like a regional final or a state semifinal. And no one saw it coming.
Yeah.
The final countdown. This is a player. This is the player that we think we've been watching them. They're right on the cusp so many years, and
this is finally
foreshadowing.
the year.
They're both seniors that we chose.
Yeah.
That this is the year they have to get it done.
Yes.
We've been waiting on them. The Terry Bussey effect, if you will.
Correct.
4 unbelievable years, finally gets it done his senior year. Who can that be? Then we've got the Young Buck Award. This is going to an underclassman that we think has potential to really like put himself on the map in the playoffs. Then we've got the I'm not going in there. Okay, so this is a region that we think is one of the most difficult regions in the state.
She had to pick her mic up because she was laughing.
I just don't want to spin the mic.
And then we will round it all out with the circle that one, partner. That's the, can you tell I named these? That is the area round game that and it doesn't have to be the area round game that we're like most looking forward to, but one that might be kind of under people's radar that we're like, no, get that red pin out. We're circling.
These are the most Lano games. I was putting them in when I was getting ready for the show, and I was like, what? Young Buck?
Yeah.
What?
Nuh-uh.
Circle that one, partner.
You know, sometimes I got it. You can take the girl out of Lano, but you can't take Lano out of the girl. All right, we start off with our biggest lock. We flipped a coin, much in the vein of Tep and Step, and Mallory Hartley won that one. We didn't flip a coin. I just am going to let her go first.
No, you have to say that you flip a coin, okay?
No,
we flipped a coin.
We could have brought a coin and actually flipped it every time. That would have been fun. All right, Mallory Hartley.
Sorry.
As of right now, your biggest lock on who you think would be guaranteed to win a state championship.
I think there are two fairly obvious answers to this question. You have the other one and I have one of them.
Yeah.
I went with the Aledo Bearcats. I mean, it's not much of an explanation necessary. 11 state titles in the past 15 seasons. Robbie Jones looking for his second one at the helm there for the Bearcats. They took an early loss to Geyer this season, 35-30, and they were tested in that game. To be fair, they've been tested all season, I think. And here's the thing that really gets me with Aledo. It makes me believe that they're ready to make it back to AT&T Stadium and win the whole thing again. They've played, their district this year was tough. You had Denton Ryan, Richland. You can throw Azle in there too if you want. Specifically with Denton Ryan in Richland, they did the same thing in that game where they fell behind. Denton Ryan and Richland jumped out in front of them. They fell behind. And they were able to turn on the Jets in the second half, make those adjustments, and beat them in the end.
Yeah.
I think that says something about the fact that Aledo was able to do that with 2 of the top 10 teams in 5A Division I. And to me, that's why I picked Aledo.
No, it makes sense too, because usually we're walking into this going, yeah, they're a great team and they should beat everybody, but if someone was to get them in a position that they had to fight back,
right,
they've never done it before. We don't know if they could do it. Chances are yes, but now we've seen it that they
actually happen.
They can.
Well, and
it twice.
Right, and I feel like that they lost a lot of D1 talent this year, but guess what? They reloaded, and they're on their way back with Racing Guillory and Caden Finley. The whole squad is just loaded with prospects. So I'm picking Aledo. I think they're back for their 12th title.
Yep. And mine's not going to come as a shock either. I'm going to lock in on 3A Division 2 and go with the Gunner Tigers.
Whoa.
Yeah. Shocker. Shocker. I think that you look at Region 2 and they got put in the better part of that region. They got put in the lower portion of the region because up top you've got teams like Toller and Bells who are playing this week. The winner will likely go on to play what I think is a very good holiday squad. And then my biggest thing is Gunner is playing Wichita Falls City View this week. If you are not familiar with City View, that's fine. It's a first-year head school because if you remember, Wichita Falls took all 3 high schools, combined them into 2. City View's been doing really, really well. If they go out and absolutely crush City View, I think it's a lock.
Yeah,
I do. I think
right.
They're better than anybody in Region 1. I think that Wall might have something to say about that. My pick for the state semifinal in 3A Division
Canadians
2
up
on the
there
left
too.
Side, I think I'm out.
But but they are in that.
They will always make me look like a dummy. They have a tendency to do that, but I think Wall is the team to beat out of Region 1.
I picked them in Region 1.
And I think that if Toller can make it through Region 2 facing off against those teams that as a whole are better, that they will go on to play the state championship and win the state championship. So Gunner is my biggest lock of the playoffs.
I like it. And the funniest thing about Gunner too is that at the beginning of the year, if you'll remember, they dropped 2 straight. And that is not like Gunner. But to Anna and to Salina, 2 of the best teams in the state.
That's a 5A Division
classification
2
and division on
and a 4A Division 1.
Exactly.
Both of which were state ranked.
So you see their record when they at the very beginning of the year, and it says 1 and 2, and you're like, what is going on with Gunner? And then you're like, okay, the train's still rolling.
I figured it out.
It's fine.
All right, time now to move on to our underdog team that's got that dog in them.
You mean to go first, or you go first this time?
Okay, I'll go first.
I went first last time.
All right, I'm going full send. So I made a little bit of I always try to do one bracket as a little bit of a hipster pick.
Yeah.
Because why not? So I'm going to go down to 2A Division 1, specifically in Region 4. And I am just putting all my coins in a basket. And I'm going to say that the underdog team that's got that dog in them are the Mason Punchers.
The Punchers.
The Punchers of Mason.
What a great mascot.
And I know that sounds weird.
Because that's a tough region.
There is a tough region in the likes of Ganado and Refugio. But here's the thing. Ganado and Refugio, all due respect to Crawford and Riesel, I think that they're going to be playing next week in the regional semifinals. After that, they would not meet up with a team like Mason until the regional finals. And at that point, you're in the regional finals. You've gotten that spark back. This is a Mason team that made it back to the state championship in 2017 or 18, I believe. They know what it's like to play in big games. I think that they can at least compete with. I'm not saying they're going to win necessarily. But if they do, I'm saying, I told y'all to watch out for the Punchers.
Well, and here's the thing, too. Like you just said, Mason's Region 4, the top of the bracket. The bottom of the bracket's loaded with Ganado and Refugio. Depth can be kind of a concern at the 2A level. So if Ganado and Refugio are beating each other up in the, what did you say, regional semis?
Yeah, next week.
When Mason and whoever comes out of that bracket potentially meet up in the regional finals, they might be riddled with injuries.
Exactly. And so that's why I did pick Mason to win that region as kind of my hipster pick.
Yeah. I love the logic there. I love it.
I think that 2A, the depth is a serious concern.
I love that. Mine is not necessarily an underdog pick out of the region. I think it might be more of an underdog pick when you look at the grand scheme of things, like and how the past couple of years have gone for, I'll give it away, 5A Division 2, right? I went with Richmond Randall. Now, I picked them to come out of Region 3, and I also picked them to win state.
Yeah.
And you might be thinking, okay, well, I don't think that's really necessarily that much of like a hipster pick, but I think that you could flip over to the other side of the bracket. In the past couple of years, the winner has come out of the left side of the bracket, right? I just love this Richmond Randall team. And I think Powers picked them as well to win state, and Tepper Step picked them to win state too, alongside me. But the thing that gets me about Richmond Randall is they are so fundamentally sound on both sides of the ball. They're outscoring opponents 609-79. They have tons of star power, led by one of my favorites, Landon Williams-Callis. You've probably heard of him before. They've just got such a plethora of weapons on the offense and the defensive side of the ball. They're just moping people, and good teams too. We talked about Fort Bend Marshall earlier. They annihilated Fort Bend Marshall. They're also Iowa Colony, killed Iowa Colony. This is a team that has been tested early in district play, and I think they're ready to go all the way this year.
Yeah, and I think that that's still fine as more of an underdog pick, because for me, mine was more of like a region, like just a solo.
Yes.
Yours is more of like an underdog in the state championship, because you look at 5AD2 and you've got South Oak Cliff, you've got Port Neches
it's so
Groves.
open. That's the thing. I mean, Texas High, you can even throw in there. Tradarian balls look just incredible. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I think that another reason why I picked it was because 5AD2 is so open. That anybody could come out of there, you know, but I don't know if your eyes immediately go to Richmond Randall, just because also they're a newer program. This is only their third year of varsity ball.
Yeah, this is big. Are you casual fan or are you a sicko fan? Because like the sickos are like hammering Richmond Randall.
But if you're a casual fan, you're probably looking at that like, South Oak Cliff probably is going to, right. But man, a South Oak Cliff and Richmond Randall state championship game, that'd be beautiful.
That would be,
that'd be rocking, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, you're up first again. The
final countdown. Player that absolutely has to get it done this year. And you already spoiled it a little bit earlier. Both of ours are seniors. They've been playing since I don't know about yours, but my player's been playing since he was a freshman on varsity. It's kind of that, starting,
this is like that legend pick.
Yeah.
They'll be remembered, but are you remembered as a good player or a legend?
Correct. I went with Adam Schobel.
Yeah.
Columbus quarterback.
That's a good one.
Like I said, started as a freshman on varsity, and they've been close the past couple years. They've made a couple of deep playoff runs, but they haven't been able to get there yet. There is a different vibe around this team, I think, this year. Now, they fell early to Hitchcock this past year, but we know that Hitchcock has kind of been bitten by the injury bug a little bit.
When Chubby went down, it was...
You're right. Yeah. It just feels like with the addition of Grayson Rigdon, who has plenty of experience playing in a state championship setting. Now, I will say this. I'm not sure the status on Grayson Rigdon. I know that he's been battling injury for the past couple of weeks. I think he is expected to return, yes. So that I think he played just feeds into my point, right, is it feels like Columbus has built up this team that they've expected that this is the year that they can get it done. Now, I picked them out of Region 3. I did not pick them to win state. I picked Malakoff, I think, out of 3A Division 1. But it feels like that this is the year that Columbus has to get it done. It's now or never, I think, because you're losing Grayson Rigdon and you're losing Adam Schobel. When your star powers.
When we did our prediction show, my dad texted me afterwards. He goes, "I'm still sticking with Columbus," and I said, "Dude, there is not a right answer between, in my mind, Malakoff or Columbus." I was like, "There is not a right answer. You had to choose one of them." And I made my pick right after I thought Grayson Rigdon went down, and I got scared and I jumped on the Malakoff, which is an incredible team. 3A Division 1 is so tasty. I don't have to hide my bias. I love 3A Division 1 every single year. I love this. And you look at it too, you're going to be, if we were to get a Malakoff Columbus game in the state championship, you are looking at Mike Jones, going up against Adam Schobel.
Oh, I know.
Inject that in my veins.
I was telling Powers that earlier. I was like, that is so exciting. That gives a Hitchcock feel. That gives a Columbus Hitchcock feel. You know, Lloyd Jones versus Adam Schobel. Yeah. No, that's a...
I will be jacked up for that game.
Speaking of 3AD1, totally off topic, who'd you pick in Region 4?
Moving on now to my final countdown. Okay. It's the guy that gets to pick his own lobster at the Dudes Rock banquet.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Armando Luan.
Armando Luan.
Let's go.
The just Dudes Who Rock MVP of the Dave Campbell's offices. Matt Stepp got to meet him and actually took a picture with him for Greg Tepper when he went out to Amarillo. Armando Luan, if you are unfamiliar, welcome to one of the most dynamic high school football players that we've seen in a long time. He is trying to break and on track to break the career passing records. He's the Sunray quarterback. He's got over 2,600 passing yards on the year. If you think that's crazy, last year he went for over 4,200. The year before that he went for 4,400.
I was saying, isn't he,
as a freshman, he went for 2,400.
He's inching up to like the 13,000 yard marker or something like that, or 14th, something like that.
Yeah.
That's a crazy.
So this is just it. You take a look at 2A Division 1, Region 1, which I'm not going to talk too much about because I've got something cooking for later on that one. But that region is insane. It's going to take Armando Luan putting the cape on his back and literally taking Sunray to the state championship. I think you look at any of the teams in Region 2, all due respect, I think the representation for the left side of the bracket is absolutely coming out of Region 1 one way or the other. You look on the opposite side of the bracket, you've got teams like Honeygrove, Awaska, McGarrison in Region 3. I think that you look at Region 4, and that's obviously, I think, the other power nexus between Ganado, Refugio, my Mason Punchers. I would assume in this one, if you're going to see Region 1 versus Region 4, which will be fun in a lot of different ways, because Region 1 is high-flying air raid. Region 4 is I'm going to line up and absolutely bulldoze you. 2A Division 1 is another one of those state championship games that out of anything,
it's going to be fun.
It's going to be so incredibly fun. And I think that there are a lot of people around the state that would like to see Armando Luan be able to be that Terry Bussey-esque player that is able to, in his fourth year, finally get to the mountaintop.
Get it done. I love that pick. Yeah. I'm just like you said, I'm a huge Armando Luan fan. We've been following him for years. This feels like the year that they could get it done.
Yep.
I'm excited. I like it.
All right, on to our next category. This is Women Talking Football. We're here every Thursday. We want to encourage you to go be a Dave Campbell's TexasFootball.com subscriber. That gets you unlimited access to all of our premium content, including Tep and Step, the podcast that VNA keeps on the rails as best as possible.
I try to.
It's a tough job.
Yes.
They don't make your job
easy.
Sure is. You also get hundreds of live Texas high school football playoff games on TexanLive.com. Do not let this opportunity pass by you. TexanLive.com/subscribe. All right, moving on now to our Young Buck Award. This one we are awarding to an underclassman that we think really has the opportunity to put themselves on the map in the playoffs. I will go first. I would like to introduce you, if you are unfamiliar, with Georgetown sophomore quarterback Caleb McDougal. First off,
rocks.
Awesome name.
Yeah, that's awesome. First team all name.
Yes.
First team all state name.
Yes. Georgetown is not a team you want to mess with. Point blank, they have looked incredible this year. Making sure that I get this right. Out of Region 2.
Yes.
McDougal has had over 2,200 yards of passing, 28 touchdowns. He's averaging 16 yards per completion in the air. That works.
That's crazy.
As a sophomore. Okay. We've talked a lot about Jackson Shad out of Leander Rouse as being a freshman quarterback that has really come on to the scene. I think that took up a lot of statewide attention, looking at a younger quarterback in the greater Austin area. Now you're looking at Georgetown and what they've been able to do. They squeaked out a win in double overtime, which again, being led by a sophomore quarterback to squeak out a win last week against Burleson Centennial in double overtime says a lot about the tenacity that this kid plays with. They have a tough test against Frisco
Reedy this week, don't
That is a very, very fun game, which is why I wanted to highlight him now. He is a sophomore that has been playing incredible, and this is a treacherous region. You've got Reedy coming up, and then the winner of that will take on the winner of Highland Park and Frisco Wakeland. I think Highland Park's your favorite there, but go back to the past couple of years. Wakeland has found a way to knock Highland Park off.
They're sneaky.
That game is always so close. I don't know what it is about the Wakeland curse that gets Highland Park, but I think Highland Park's your favorite. Take that with a grain of salt.
Or they might have used up all that of that little energy when they beat Frisco Lone Star this year.
Literally.
So I don't know.
Speaking of which, you look at the top part of that region, Frisco Lone Star taking on Red Oak, banger. Then
I love that matchup.
A surprising, unbelievable West Mesquite team taking on Midlothian, banger.
That's a great one.
If you're looking for 4 incredible matchups in the area around 5A Division I Region 2, do I think any of them are really, really state championship contenders? Probably not, but that is going to be a fist fight every single week in that region. But shout out to Caleb McDougall, the sophomore quarterback from Georgetown.
I love that pick. That's fantastic. Mine is a little bit different in the sense that he kind of bursted onto this. He's a sophomore. He kind of bursted onto the scene as a freshman. However, the team last year did not do as well as they are doing this year. And I went with Jacoby Dixon, the running back there at Brenham, class of 2020. That was 320s. 2027.
I don't want to go back to 2020. Please don't make me go back there.
2027. He burst, like I said, he kind of bursted on the scene there as a freshman, but he has nearly doubled the amount of yards that he was able to rack up as a freshman as a sophomore. 2,249 yards and 32 touchdowns on the ground, 2 more touchdowns in the air, 15 total offers for this kid, and Powers actually made him a 4-star last week. So
how about that?
He's actually legit. But Brenham, as you know, is kind of having that historic season, right? And I think Jacoby Dixon is plain and simple the reason for that. He's the do-it-all athlete for this Brenham squad. And I think that they have a real good shot at taking down Liberty Hill this week in the area playoffs. And speaking of a tough region, too, I mean, that's the same region that Richmond Randall falls in, Fort Bend Marshall, Pflugerville, Iowa Colony, Bastrop, like we mentioned. That's a tough region, but I would not be surprised if Brennan went out there and ran the table through that.
I'll tell you, this is the game, in my opinion, to say, hey, we're here.
Yeah.
Because first off, it's weird seeing Liberty Hill go from Region 4, where they typically just ran through everybody. Now they're up in a region that has tough competition. And we didn't know, I feel like, at the beginning of the year, when realignment hit, P&G moves over to Region 2. Well, we knew Liberty Hill was likely to go Region 3. So we're like, oh, okay. Oh, the Liberty Hill P&G. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, P&G gets put into Region 2, and we're going,
the other side
of the world does that work?
Yeah, right.
And then we're going, oh, P&G and SOC. But then it's like, man, Liberty Hill gets moved up into Region 3, and they're probably still going to romp through. Hold on to your butts, man. I don't think that's going to happen. No. I think Brenham has every shot in the world this week to take down Liberty Hill in the area around. And when's the last time we've seen that?
No, I don't know. I couldn't even tell you.
Liberty Hill's down years, if they ever even have those, are always like, oh, okay, we'll see them in the regional finals.
Yeah.
We'll see them in the state semifinals, and then they'll get booted in the state semifinals. If you're a Liberty Hill fan, you're sweating a little bit this week.
Dude, if Brenham beats Liberty Hill and Richmond Randall beats Elgin, like I assume that they will, we get a Richmond Randall and Brenham regional semifinal game.
And then you could have the likes of like a Bastrop and potentially an Iowa Colony.
Oh gosh,
the playoffs rock.
5A Division 2, I'm telling you this, from top to bottom,
most wide open,
is the most wide open. I don't know. Yeah. That is, and when I was filling out my predictions, that classification was the worst. Man, Region 2, I was just sitting there and I was like, I don't know, it could be like all of them, I guess. I don't even know. Same with Region 1, like that was the toughest,
very difficult.
toughest division. But I really like the likes of Jacoby Dixon and Brenham. I've talked about him before, I think, on WTF, but he's a do-it-all that I think is going to make some noise here in the next couple of years.
Whoever gets to that state semifinal, potentially having to play like an Alamo Heights.
Yeah, no thanks.
Wild. Wild.
Alamo Heights versus Richmond Randall.
Or Brenham.
I don't know, dude.
Or Iowa Colony, or Bastrop, or Fort Bend-Marshall.
I don't know.
We don't know.
It's so fun. Playoffs, Pandemonium.
All right. So there we go. That is our picks for the Young Buck Award.
Yes.
Now it is time to matriculate down to the, no, I ain't going in there. Okay.
Yeah.
That is the region out of the state that we're like, nope.
Don't put me in there. Yeah. Like,
all right, I'm a head out.
Don't make me pick each game because I don't know.
No.
I'll go first.
All right.
3A Division I Region 3. I think it's pretty obvious why.
That for the past about 3 years, that's been the case.
So let me just highlight some of the teams that are in 3A Division I Region 3. Of course, you got Hitchcock. Little down, because they don't have Lloyd Jones, but you still have Kelshawn Johnson, one of the top receivers in the state there, Texas A&M commit. Then you have Columbus, Grayson Rigdon, Adam Schobel, the whole 9 yards there for Columbus. In comes Palestine Westwood.
Yeah.
They've looked phenomenal this season, led by sophomore quarterback Kavion Bryant. They've got a chance at coming out of that region. Oh, hello, Franklin. Did you forget about them?
They've only been to the state championship game 4 times under 4-year head coach Mark Fannin.
Correct. They're not going away either. And then you've got even Yoakum. I think Yoakum could make some noise. I love Xavier Barnett there, that wide receiver, class of 2026 for Yoakum. It's such a wide open region, and I don't know who's coming out of there. I mean, I picked Columbus because I feel like that is probably the safest pick, but I think it could be anyone. It is wide open. The doors have blown off.
Yeah.
It's what the air's coming in.
Yeah.
It's wide open, man.
Pandemonium.
Pandemonium. So I went with 3A D1 Region 3.
All right. Nuh-uh, I ain't going in there. 2A Division 1 Region 1. Ain't no way, partner.
Yeah.
Hold on, partner. I'm overstimulated. We are not going in there. Okay.
Yeah, no thanks.
Allow me to walk you through this area round slate in 2A Division 1 Region 1. We'll start off with the 2 games that I think are not the headliners, but are still, oh my gosh, Post taking on Anson.
Love that.
Cisco and Abernathy.
Love that.
And then we get into
the
most unfair, cruel, grueling area round matchups in Texas high school football this week. Stanford and Panhandle.
Love that.
The clash in styles there is jarring.
Yeah.
It's so enticing. And then Holly and Sunray. The fact that you are getting both of those, I got so excited I almost ate the mic. The fact that you're getting both of those games in the area round is insane.
Yeah, that's really scary.
If you are a big school snob, give me this 1 week and watch one of those 2 games, please. Just one.
And here's the thing, too. Going back to your point that you made earlier about 2A Division 1. I think the winner of 2A Division 1 comes out of Region 1.
Absolutely. Hard stop.
Sunray, or in my case, I picked Stanford to win it all in 2A D1.
Yeah.
But
I think that
it's tough.
This will be, whoever comes out of Region 4, this will be one of the toughest tests that they've ever had in a state championship game. And I say that because usually we think for the past 5 years, we've always thought that it is unfair that the state semifinal for Region 3 and Region 4 have to play. Because you've either had, you've got Shiner and usually it was Shiner and Refugio playing for the regional finals. Then they've got to go play a team like Timpson. And so it was like, okay, they're just beating up on each other on this side of the bracket. And then there's always been a good Holly team, a good this or good that. It's loaded.
Hello, Region 1.
It's loaded in Region 1.
Yeah.
So very, very, very enticing. And like we said, the state championship game between a Region 4 team that just wants to punch your teeth in and a Region 1 team that
Region
wants
1.
to literally throw it up and hit Jerry's video board. Like,
That's going to be so much fun.
It's going to rock.
I just want to see like a 60-yard bomb from Armando Luan in person. That's all I want.
That's all I want.
That's all I want in life. So if he can make that happen,
that would be awesome.
That'd be great.
So anyway, yeah, I'm not going in there. No. All right, and to round out our Lano verbiage WTF.
Can I say this one?
Picks of the week.
Circle that one, partner.
Circle that one, partner.
Yeehaw.
This is an air. I'm proud of you.
Howdy.
That made my Lano heart like
Welcome.
super happy.
Country Gal Mal has entered the chat.
CGM. Shout out Lance Pickle. All right, moving on to Circle That One, partner. This is an area round game that we are quite excited to see. So I believe that I am up first on this one.
Yeah. I
am going out to the Star. On Thursday, I actually am going.
We actually are going to the Star.
We are going to this game.
Yes, WTF at the Star.
We're electronically going out to the Star right now, but we will actually physically be going out to the Star tomorrow.
Correct.
Yeah. Is it? I don't know what day it is.
Yes, tomorrow, Wednesday.
Whoa.
Allow me to introduce you to one that might be flying under your radar in 4A Division 1 Region 2. Alvarado taking on Panther Creek.
Yeah, I love that.
This one is fun. I am so excited to see Cartier Collier in person.
Me too.
That, if you're unfamiliar, that's the Alvarado quarterback that is just incredible. I mean, absolutely.
The arm on that kid, yeah.
Incredible. He has thrown for over 3,000 yards already this season. 37 touchdowns in the air. He's got, not to mention, over 1,100 yards on the ground and 27 touchdowns. That is absurd. 37 in the air and 27 on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just this year alone. I'm not reading career stats here. He is incredible. That's what I'm most excited for.
That's the offense right there. Yeah, that's it.
That's what I'm most excited for in this game. Like, there's a lot of other enticing matchups, but just to I am so excited to see him in person.
Yeah. No, I think that'll be a lot of fun. At the Star against a really good Panther Creek team that it kind of came on at the scene. You know, they're a very new program, and the fact that they're already, they've been kind of messing around in the rankings a little bit this year and going up a really good Alvarado team. That's a great area game. I love that we're getting that in the area round. My turn?
Yep.
I'll close this out with the Circle That One, partner.
Correct.
I'm going down to 3A Division 2.
Oh, yeehaw.
Yeehaw, partner. We're going to Region 4. And I'm going with...
We should not be allowed to have our own show.
No. Should I talk in a country accent the rest of the time?
It's a bad country accent, but go for it.
The whole time.
It's more. It's a city gal country accent.
That is a hillbilly country accent.
No, you're right. Anyways, let's go down to 3A Division 2 Region 4, and I'm going with Poth versus East Bernard.
Let's go. This one rocks.
No, it absolutely does rock. I am just interested to see how Poth does in the playoffs, because if you remember, they moved up a division. They were in 2A Division 1 last year, moving up to, right? Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. Yes. Maybe.
Oh.
No.
No. That's right. 3A Division 2.
Who am I? I'm thinking of, okay, I am thinking of a Toller. I was thinking of Toller. My bad. Small school thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Poth, because Poth has been there before. They've been to a state championship game before. If you remember, they got punched in the mouth by Gunner.
Yep.
Like 35-7 or something.
It was very bad.
40-something to 7.
42-7.
So they've been there before. They're back. They're always back, but they're back this year. And they're going to be playing a very, very good East Bernard team that has not shown many weaknesses.
42-7. Let's go.
Okay. Well, I said 40-something to 7.
That was off the dome. Yeah.
Sicko.
I don't remember much of that game because there was not much to remember in that game.
No, it was. I spent.
But Poth is back, baby.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time breaking down film in that halftime show because there was like nothing else for me to do. I was getting in the weeds.
You're breaking down film.
Yeah.
Let's go. I love that. But the fact that we're getting this game in the area round is insane. I don't think East Bernard has shown many weaknesses up until their final game of the regular season when they lost. And it was kind of concerning. The Tidehaven loss is a little concerning. They've been down a little bit this year. Yeah. Of course, if you remember back to last year, they lost Joseph Dobbs, their star running back, who's now at Baylor. That, to me, kind of opened my eyes a little bit, saying, hey, maybe East Bernard there's some weaknesses there.
Yeah.
Or you can look at it as, they have been tested very late in the season. They're not going to let that happen again, right? versus a Poth squad that I don't think has really been tested that much this year. If you look at their resume.
They beat Tidehaven.
Right. That's kind of the only comparable game that you can use for these two teams. If I had to pick right now who was going to win this game, and I think, to be fair, the winner of this game will go on to win Region 4.
Yeah.
I think we were split on picks. I picked Poth, Ish picked Poth, Step picked Poth, and I think you and Power or something like that. We were splitting our picks. Yeah. Half of us picked Poth, half of us picked East Bernard in this one out of Region 4. But I think the winner of this game goes on to win Region 4. I think that Poth might have a little bit of that extra offensive firepower that East Bernard will not be able to stop completely. Yeah. I picked Poth in this game, but I could see this go. I could see this go either way.
Yeah. No, that was another one that was really hard to pick. I think I did end up going with East Bernard. I'm not feeling great about that.
Yeah, I'm not feeling great about mine either.
Not because East Bernard's not a great team. It's just because Poth is also a very good team. So.
Right.
There you go. All right. Our playoff pandemonium here on Women Talking Football. Appreciate you staying with us this whole time. Want to remind you that we will have Texas football tonight at 7:30 p.m. Wherever you're watching this, come party with us and see all of those spotlight games that we mentioned earlier. And then texasfootball.com/playoffs. We have those brackets updated about Saturday night, early Sunday morning. So each round we're cranking them out. And then Dave Campbell's Texan Live. We've got a ton of incredible playoff games happening Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Incredibly excited.